Hi and welcome back to my channel. It's so nice to see you here. This is going to be a very relaxed, chilled video. You may have seen my post last, sorry if you can hear all the banging on the door, that's the dog trying to get in. Yeah, you may have seen my post last week on YouTube. I said that I was not very well and so I took last week off, so there was no video last week. I'm still not doing so well and I'm going to go into that a bit in this video. So yeah, it's been a challenging few weeks. I mean, it's been a challenging few months if I'm really honest. So yeah, I thought I would just do a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of like honest chat, a little bit of knit and chat. I'm filming downstairs in my living room, which means that the light for some reason down here is always really bright whenever I have anything that's white that I'm knitting. So this is an off-white, it's just like absolutely glowing. I find it really frustrating because I'm always trying to get the lighting right, but clearly I can't do that down here. But it is a nice place to just sit and knit and chat. So I'm going to start off by talking about what I am making right now, what's currently on my needles. So this is the Sunday Cardigan Mohair edition by Petite Knit. Now I'm not making this in a mohair, I am making this in alpaca silk, which is quite similar to a mohair, like a kid silk mohair, which is what is supposed to be used in the pattern. So it's like a fluffy fibre on a silk strand, but because it's alpaca it's that little bit thicker, so I had to, so it's supposed to be 3 strands of kid silk on 7mm needles, and I've got 2 strands of alpaca silk on 6mm needles, which is working really well for me. I've also cropped this cardigan because the plan is to have it as a bit of a sort of cardigan to go with dresses, to wear over smarter dresses. I've got my 30th birthday party coming up and it's the middle of April, so the weather could literally be anything, and my dress, I think I'm going to make it short sleeved. I haven't decided yet, can't decide between long sleeve or short sleeve, but I think I'm probably going to go short sleeved, which means I could probably do with a layer. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually really not enjoyed working with this yarn. I just don't think I'm a sort of fluffy silk holding 2 or 3 strand together kind of girl. I am very much a DK girl. I love working in a DK weight yarn. I love working with a wool alpaca mix or a merino, something along those lines. I think that's really good to know as well. Like, I feel like I've been knitting now for 5 years, like, you know, every day knitting for like 5 years. And I'm really starting to like hone my style of knitting, the yarns that I prefer to use, the kind of patterns I like to make, which has really helped because I did used to just sort of flit around all over the place. I used to get gifted stuff, so I just make things that I was gifted, or I would see, you know, a pattern and think, oh, that's lovely, and not really think about where that went in my wardrobe and how that went with my wardrobe and what kind of colours would go with the clothes I already have. So yeah, it's this year and last year a little bit as well, it's been quite good to sort of focus myself a bit more. So I'm working through my stash. I've said this in previous videos that this year is all about stash sewing and stash knitting. I'm not completely, you know, cutting out buying anything. I would imagine that I will buy at least 1 or 2 sweater/cardigan quantities of yarn throughout the year. I'm going to the Stitch Festival next weekend, which, well, it's actually this weekend, and I will probably buy some fabric there, but I'm choosing, like, I'm trying to be very careful. I'm not trying to just sort of get overexcited and buy a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to think very carefully about gaps in my wardrobe, what things I'm actually going to wear, what colours I actually need. And then I'm also trying my best to use up stash. So this yarn was in my stash. My husband bought me the extra because I basically had bought enough to make a cropped short sleeved top, holding 2 strands together for a previous project that I ended up not making a few years ago. So I needed a bit extra just to be able to do like the sleeves and stuff, because they're big balloon sleeves. So he bought me a few more balls of that as an anniversary present. So yeah, this is as far as we've got. I really didn't enjoy the yoke. So the yoke, you can see, is a ribbed yoke. And I really didn't enjoy working on that. For some reason, this yarn changing from knit pearl just sort of drove pearls here, just sort of drove me mad. I think because I just said pearl, she thinks I called her. Yeah, her name is Pearl, P-E-A-R-L, like, you know, the pearl, not like P-U-R-L, but I kind of wish it was P-U-R-L. Yeah, so Pearly, no. Mummy's talking. So yeah, I really didn't enjoy the yoke, and I was very excited once I finished the yoke, and I just got onto stocking net stitch. Stocking net stitch is much nicer to work. I think basically I didn't enjoy working pearl in this. There's not a lot of flex to this yarn, being like a silk fluffy alpaca. There's not a lot of stretch, not a lot of flex. It's just, I don't know, I've just not enjoyed working with it, to be honest. But it's a 6mm needle cropped cardigan. And I'm on the sleeve, and I started this at the beginning of March, like literally the 1st of March, and I haven't been able to do much work on it at all. Like, I've had a lot of breaks because I've had a lot of pain and chest issues this month, which has meant that I've not been able to do any knitting at all, and I'm still finished the body and on one of the sleeves. I'm imagining that I'm probably going to finish this sleeve over the weekend. I'm filming this on Friday. This is going to go up on the Sunday, so I'm imagining that I'm probably going to sit on Sunday afternoon and do a lot of knitting, because I'm at the Stitch Festival all day Saturday, so I'll be quite tired. So I'll have a really chilled afternoon, and I'll just get that sleeve done, and then next week I'll probably get the other sleeve done, and then that's it. I'm really quite looking forward to moving on to a different project. My next project that I want to move on to is the Stella quilt cushion by Penrose Knits, which is a DK weight garter stitch. So it'll be super easy but very effective, very pretty, and it's going in this room. Well, I'm actually making 2, possibly 3 to go in this room, like all different colourways. So I'm really looking forward to sort of moving on to that as a project, because as I say, I haven't really enjoyed this. But I'm plugging away at it. It's easy, it's knitting up very quickly, and I think it's going to be really good in my wardrobe. And as I say, I had stash. I did and ah about whether or not I should sell it, the yarn that was in stash, but I've decided to keep it and to make this out of it. So that's the project that I am currently knitting on. But I thought I would share a little bit about the other project I have on the go, which is just a simple pair of socks. As usual, you guys will know by now, if you've been following me for a while, that I nearly always have stocking net stitch socks on the go. I am thinking this year of branching out a little bit into like a lace or a cable knit sock, but I always tend to have a sock on the go because they're great for car journeys. They're great for like if I'm in a meeting and I'm not on video, just like sit and knit and listen, just like mindless knitting. So I will probably, once I finish this cardigan, I might finish this sock before moving on to the cushion, and then I'll start a second sock at some point. But yeah, it is, in England, it is a bank holiday weekend next weekend for Easter, so we get the Friday and the Monday off, and I'm basically like want to start a new project and enjoy that over the weekend. I'm going to my parents for 2 nights for Easter weekend, and I just want to take the cushion, I think the Stella quilt cushion, so I really want to get this finished. So I'm going to really like put some rows in. It's very lightweight. I mean, it's obviously bulky because it's a whole cardigan, but it's very lightweight, so I am kind of tempted to take it with me tomorrow when I go to the Stitch Festival on the train, so I can sit and do some rows, because it's, you know, a good hour and a half on the train each way into London, so that could be a really good way of getting this sleeve done and moving on to the next sleeve. So yeah, we shall see. So now I just kind of thought I would talk like just general life update stuff, really. I'm not sure how long this video is going to end up being, because I am still very, very tired. I'm still struggling a lot. So for those who don't know, I had a nasty virus in December, which we now think was probably COVID, but it started whilst I was abroad in Germany, so I didn't have like any test kits or anything to like test. So yeah, I don't know if it was COVID, but it was very nasty, whatever it was, and I was very, very unwell for 3 weeks. And towards the end of those 3 weeks, as I was starting to feel a little bit better, I suddenly got a lot of pain in my chest, and the pain became so bad that I almost ended up in A&E. And basically I got diagnosed with costochondritis, which is an inflammation of the costal muscles. I'm not a doctor, I'm not medical at all, so bear with me. It's an inflammation of the costal muscles between the lungs and the ribs, I want to say. All I know is that it's very, very painful, and I rested completely, which is what I was told to do, took anti-inflammatories. I spent the whole of Christmas having to like basically rest, be in bed, not do anything, which was really sad because I'd taken off like a big chunk of my annual leave and I basically spent it in bed, which yeah, was a little bit miserable. But I started to get a lot better, and I came back and went back to work in January, and within a couple of weeks, I mean not even like a couple of weeks, like a week, the pain was back, and it was so bad again that I was like crying in pain, screaming in pain, couldn't move, and I had to go and see the doctor again, and yeah, she was like, yeah, this can happen, you need to rest more, you need to rest more. So I really started to rest. I put a lot of, you know, work into like being able to rest, and like that was really hard for me because I work for myself and it's not easy just to be able to take the time off that you need. But anyway, I did that. I started to improve quite a bit in February, and then at the beginning of March I ended up having a very big weekend where I was driving a lot. I wasn't actually physically driving, I was just in the car, and for some reason that really seems to aggravate the pain. Yeah, we got back and I was just like in absolute agony again, like almost going to A&E, so much pain. And you know, I have a chronic pain condition, so I live with pain, I am used to pain. This is like nothing I've ever felt before. So much pain, so difficult. And then as the pain went down, as I like took anti-inflammatories and rested and the pain started to go down, it's still there a bit now, I'm still struggling a bit, but it has started to go down. I've just been hit with a huge wave of exhaustion, and I do have a chronic fatigue condition. I have M.E.CFS, which I've had for 5 years now, and I manage very well, and I have started to get better from. I've been having 2 years worth of treatment now, which has really improved my health. But I've just been hit with like absolutely crippling fatigue, and I'm just exhausted basically. I'm burnt out, I'm exhausted, I'm really struggling. I'm having to take a bit of a break from some of my work because I just physically can't cope with it. And I've been in this place before. I've been in this place where I have been ill and I felt like I couldn't stop. And so I've continued, and it's only got worse. So I feel like after 5 years now, I'm very much like, you just can't do that. Your body just gets to a point where you just can't push through, and you just simply have to accept it. And I think I'm also at a point now where I'm like, the only thing in life that really matters is good health. That's the thing that you learn, is that yes, it's nice to have lots of money. Yes, it's nice to go on lots of holidays or whatever. But if you don't have your health, none of it is worth. Like, I could be the richest woman in the world, but like being as sick as I have been, you know, in the past, I've been housebound, bedbound, like it's just not worth it. So it's been a really tough decision to pull back from work, and it's been a very difficult decision, made difficult by other people, and that's caused a lot of stress and anxiety. And yeah, this is probably not what you're expecting at all. Normally when you click on my videos, they're quite cheery, quite happy, and I want you to know, like, I'm okay, I'm just struggling. And I feel like being honest about this is really important, because I know that a lot of other people go through this. I know a lot of people who follow me also suffer with chronic illness, also will go through these kind of dips, and I wouldn't want anybody to think that, like, you know, I've got ME and my life is all super wonderful, because I know that can be really, really unhelpful when you have ME and you think, well, why is her ME like that and my ME is like this? Like, it is not wonderful at the moment. Life is a struggle. I'm exhausted. I'm having a really, really hard time. And it's really made me sit down. I'm like actually not doing any knitting in this knit and chat, but it's really made me sit and question what I want from life and what I want my life to look like moving forward. Do I want to keep doing the jobs that I'm doing that aren't bringing me that much joy and are causing a lot of stress and exhaustion and anxiety? Is this worth it in the long term? And that's a really difficult like question to answer, because at the end of the day, like, being in a privileged position where you, like, you know, sometimes, and I've been in this position loads of times before in my life, sometimes you know, you just have no choice. Like, financially you need to work, and I am in a position where financially I do need to work, but it's not as bad as it has been in the past. Like, when I first became housebound and I couldn't go to work at all, we had no money and we got into a lot of debt, and we really, really struggled with that. And that's quite common for people with chronic illnesses, that kind of stuff happens. Luckily we're not in that position anymore. We're in a better place, so I am better positioned. It's not going to be easy. It's going to mean like cutting back and stuff, but I am in a better position to put my health first and to move away from things that really aren't serving me at the moment. So yeah, that's a lot of honest chat, but I like honesty on this channel. I like to be honest with you guys about how I'm feeling and where I'm at and what's going on in my life. I like, you know, I write a lot about having chronic fatigue. I've written a lot about it. I share a lot about it on Instagram. I've shared a little bit about it on here. I think honesty is genuinely really important, and if you're somebody like me who lives with chronic illness, like, just so that you know that you're not alone, and that if you're going through or you've been through something like this, like, other people go through it too. Other people are experiencing this. It is a particularly difficult time in the UK for everybody. You know, we're having a cost of living crisis. I think we're probably heading towards a recession. Things are not great at all. You know, life is difficult for basically everybody, and so things have been feeling a bit low, but I'm really plugging into things like my knitting and my sewing. I'm plugging into things like making my small cottage. It's a very modern mid-terraced house, but I made it into sort of a cottage feel place, decorating it. I'll get some shots of all of this, I'll probably put them at the beginning of the video and stuff. I've been, you know, working really hard on like making my space feel really lovely to be in, because I'm having to be in it a lot more, filling it with spring flowers, British, like, we're now into British flower season, so I don't buy flowers unless they're British grown, for sustainable reasons, and we're now into flower season where that's really easy to do. So at the moment it's daffodils. In a few weeks time there'll be loads and loads of British grown tulips, and then peonies, so we're like well into it. And then hopefully by then I'm hoping that my own cut flowers from the garden will be ready, because I grow cut flowers. I did it last year, I'll be doing it again this year, and I will document that on the vlog a little bit more. I haven't really properly started my gardening year yet, but I will definitely do a little bit of that on here, as I'm moving more in towards sharing handmade, homegrown and slow living content, not just handmade content. But yeah, I've been really plugging in to like basically the things that have always helped me, the things that helped me originally when I first became ill and I first became housebound, which is resting at home and creating with my hands, knitting. I've done some needle felting. I think I may look, so when I'm at this, I'm just changing yarn. When I'm at the Stitch Festival, I was thinking I might have a little look for like an embroidery kit or something. And yeah, I've decorated my home with Easter seasonal decor. I'm gonna start making some summer seasonal decor at some point. So it's all just feeling like something to focus on, which is what crafting has always been for me. Crafting has always got me through really difficult times, and this is another particularly difficult time health-wise and things, and so crafting again is the thing that I'm turning to, the thing that I'm focusing on. I find sewing a lot harder because it uses a lot more energy, and like physically sitting at the sewing machine at the moment is quite difficult for me to do with my chest pain. But knitting, I can get fairly comfortable on the sofa, and I can just sit and work on something. And I'm, you know, obviously this project, as much as it's annoyed me slightly because I'm not loving working with the yarn, it is a really quite an easy project because it's just mostly stocking net stitch or rib. So yeah, I'm picking projects that are easy to work on. Hopefully when I finish this cardigan, don't get me wrong, it's not like I absolutely hate it, like it's fine, I am like picking it up, I'm just looking forward to like moving on to something else, something that brings me a bit more joy. I also like have been doing things like I made a bird feeder the other day out of an old vintage cup and saucer that's just been sitting around for years, that was gifted to me years ago. It was like a candle in it, and I burnt the candle down and then it was just there. So I've turned that into a bird feeder in the garden so that when I'm sat on the sofa knitting, I can actually see birds on the table. So I saw a robin this morning eating out of this little cup. We also saw 2 blue tits coming in and out of the birdhouse that my dad made for me, which I put in the garden again in a position where I can watch it from the window whilst I'm knitting. And I'm just really plugging into that, really plugging into like finding, sorry, the sunlight's come in and I look like a ghost, I realise that. Really plugging into simple joys, which is what has always got me through chronic illness before. And although this chronic illness episode is looking a little bit different because it's costochondritis, it's not like my usual fibromyalgia or ME or something. It's still the same kind of thing. It's a long-term condition. It's being exasperated by my other conditions. So I'm really just like, I know what to do. I think that's what it comes down to, is I know what to do in these instances. I know to like reel it all back in, quiet, calm, rest, get outside every day for a walk with Pearl, keep meditating every day like I normally do, journaling, fresh air, good healthy organic whole foods, home cooked foods, focus on the really small things each day, like eating well, you know, making with my hands, watching a TV show that I love, listening to a book that I love, having a bath with bubbles in the evening and reading a book that I'm enjoying. Like, you learn when you have a chronic illness and everything is basically stripped away, that actually the only things in life that really matter are the little things. And it might sound a bit cheesy to say this kind of stuff, but really you do learn that simple joys are just so important. This morning I baked some wild garlic and cheese scones. Now I've made this recipe before and for some reason it came out, sorry if you can hear lots of banging and stuff, Pearl's just going for a walk with my husband. Yeah, for some reason it came out really, the mix came out really wet. I'm not really sure why. So they look a bit like sad little squashed sat on scones, but they taste good. And you know, wild garlic is a natural anti-inflammatory. It's really good for the immune system, as are nettles, and it's nettle season, so I'm hoping to pick some nettles this weekend because I quite like to do like nettles in stews and stuff, like where you would use spinach. So I'm just focusing on this. I'm just focusing on like bringing it right back to the simple joys of life, the things that have always got me through, which is a lot of what I write about. And yeah, I'm like, I think I'm going to share more of this journey because I don't know how long I'm going to be, you know, struggling basically. I mean, I always try to live this way because I do live with chronic illness, but it's just particularly exacerbated and particularly bad at the moment. So I guess that's sort of where I'm at, is I just really need to pull everything back and calm everything down. So yeah, I hope that made sense. There was a lot of rambling, I realised that. Been very rambly this video, and I've not actually done that much knitting, but yeah. A very honest, open chat about where I am at the moment, what I'm focusing on, and I hope that it helps if, like me, you're struggling, you're going through a particularly difficult time and you're just like trying to figure out how to get through. I really honestly recommend just focusing on the small things. you know, focusing on things during the day that bring you joy, whether that's like a lovely home cooked meal, a bit of knitting, reading a lovely book, getting out in the sunshine, or like me, I try to do all of those things. I'm trying to fill my day with things that are going to help me get through, because when you're dealing with a chronic illness, you know, you also end up inevitably dealing with mental health illness, because it's so draining and exhausting. It burns you out. Living in, you know, with chronic illness is tough, and you know, protecting my mental health is not a small part of what I need to do. That's a very big part of what I need to do. That's a very important part of my life. So I hope that sort of sharing this has helped anyone that might be struggling a bit. I am going to the Stitch Festival tomorrow. As much as I'm not very well and I am struggling quite a bit, my husband is coming with me, so I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to take it very slow. I'm going to be very careful. I'm walking down the catwalk in one of my creations, so I was invited to come to the show. I was gifted tickets and I was invited to be part of the catwalk. So I'm really excited. I didn't want to miss out on that, so I am going to go. And I'm going to take it really slow, as I say, and I'm hoping to have a really nice time, do a bit of shopping, maybe pick up a really nice fabric. One of my favourite fabric shops, Cloth Atelier, is going to be there. I absolutely love their stuff, Indian block print, beautiful fabric. So I will probably treat myself to one, maybe two, we'll see, special fabrics. I'll see what's there at the show. So yes, sorry, the point of that was I'm going to be filming that. So next week's vlog on Sunday, it'll come out on Easter Sunday, will be a vlog all about walking the catwalk and stuff. So I really hope that you enjoy that, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who's new to subscribing. I really appreciate all of your support. Honestly, it means so much. I'm now in a position where I can earn a little bit of money from YouTube, and that is really helping with this situation right now of being ill and struggling to do as much work as I need to do and would like to do. So every subscriber, every watch, every person invested in these videos, I am so grateful for, and it makes such a difference. So thank you so much for that. I hope you all have lovely weeks, and if you're struggling, I send you my love, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.